when I joined RTE, I joined as a fresh, newly minted graduate, and RTE was an extraordinary place to be at that time. So this is the mid-90s. I found it was very flexible, it was very open. There was an enormous emphasis on learning and an emphasis on your ability to move through the organization. So I joined RTE as a designer, and as you say, I designed the logo and a lot of title sequences and the idents for the channels. It was the birth of digital animation, so that was very exciting. They were getting a lot of new technology in, and I had become very interested in computer-aided design, which is also kind of a new thing at the time. So I was experimenting a lot with live action, with drawing on celluloid, with putting that through the computers, with putting that through the new animation computers. It was all quite thrilling, and I felt very free. And when I became a producer and a director and then an executive producer, I felt very free. Everything that I wrote, filmed, went on air. I learned so fast and I learned so well. Everything that I wrote and directed and produced, I got feedback on from an audience in real time. It was an extraordinary time to be there. It was a time when a lot of programming was coming from inside RTE. So I had huge opportunities to move from one genre to another and to develop my own skill set. And it was a massive, massive and incredibly rewarding journey and educational opportunity, really, those 10 years. I should also say that my dad was Director General of RTE for those dates in the late 60s to the mid 70s. He was 38 when he took that job, and he left in his early 40s. Now, I hadn't really thought about it because obviously I was tiny. I think I was 6 when he left. I remember asking him about it some years ago, he's passed away now, saying, how extraordinary that you were so young. He said, no, I was one of the oldest people there. Everybody was in their 20s and 30s. That's such an interesting idea. When we talk about entrepreneurship and startups, as you say, they were that generation who's passed away now. We're a generation of nation builders, of inventors, inventing a new form of Ireland. They were inventing television broadcasting. And it was the equivalent to people starting a new web-based startup now. It was all to be decided. It was all to be invented. So when I left RTE to start a career myself in terms of setting up my own businesses, it felt very familiar, both from within the context of RTE, where I had enormous freedom in terms of setting up my own programs, and also because I had come from this tradition of when you want to do something, you build it yourself, and you learn and you contribute and you find ways to challenge yourself and to satisfy your ambitions, to grow and change and contribute culturally.